What's going on, everybody? Kenny Bomb is in the building, and Netherrealm Studios has finally given us a roadmap for Kombat Pack 1. That's great news. But bad news came along with that because we found out teaida will not be released until summer of 2024. That means we got a long road ahead of us with Kombat Pack 1, but Ed Boon did state that a lot of fighters would be added to this game before it's all said and done. So which fighters should be added? Give me your picks in the comment section, and I'm going to give you my picks right now.
Run, boy, they coming on.
So this is actually part 2. Last week we took a look at 15 characters who didn't make it on the roster. This week we'll be looking at 12. Now here's how it works. If I think the character should make it into Mortal Kombat 1 on the base roster, they get a green box. If I think they should be a cameo, they get a yellow box. But if that character gets a red box, it's cancel Christmas and they should not make it into Mortal Kombat 1 at all. Now we also have 1X, which means one of these characters should never make it into a Mortal Kombat game again. Let's go ahead and get started. So who do we have on row number 1? Pretty interesting mix-up of characters here. Now, previously I said Chameleon shouldn't make it in a Mortal Kombat game just because he was a copy ninja, but we see Chameleon with a K is making it in as a cameo. So I'm gonna go ahead and put Boy Chameleon with a C in here as a cameo as well, because I think they could actually give Chameleon a like a skin swap where you could switch between the boy and the girl. So I think that would work pretty well. Now, we got Dairu. Previously in videos, I said Dairu should never make it into a Mortal Kombat game again, and trust me, he would get this X if he wasn't already in Mortal Kombat 1. I don't know if y'all know this or not, but they kind of merged Dairu with Havoc. Havoc is Dairu now.
Return to Saido, Dairu.
Where did you learn my real name?
What are we doing? I have no idea, but somehow Dairu made it on the base roster. Next we got Kai, who's an interesting one because I was trying to avoid spoilers before this game came out and people were all over the place. I kept running into comments saying Kai's the final character, Kai's in the game, Kai's character 24. Based on those comments, I thought he was going to pop up at the end of the story and be a big deal. But he never popped up at all, and there was no 24th character. But if there were 24 characters in this game, and you're reviving the 3D era, I consider Mortal Kombat 4 3D, then I think this was the perfect time to revive Kai. Give him a main part in the story. Cut those braids off, give him a fresh fade with some ear pods, and let him take Raiden's spot as Earthrealm's champion. Next up, we got Hotaru. And I don't need y'all getting mad at me over this because Ed Boon canceled Christmas on him. Somebody asked him, is Hotaru returning? He said no Taru. So I think we're going to cancel Christmas on Hotaru for all of Mortal Kombat 1. Now, if he does come back, y'all would want to see him like rebuilt, revitalized, and in the story, right? Well, I guess he could make it in the Aftermath story, but no Taru means no Taru. I don't think no Taru's coming back. Let's move on to our next list. Now, I'm not a fan of Hotaru, and y'all might get on me about this because I am a fan of Hsu Hao. I think Hsu Hao was great in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance because he had the best fatality in Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance. Think about Quan Chi's fatality. He just did a neck pull. Hotaru had a crazy fatality where he blew the beam out of his chest, cut the opponent in half with it, and they just crawled backwards with their bottom half cut off. I love him forever for that fatality. Now, I don't think Hsu Hao should have a spot on the base roster, and I don't think they ever would give him one either, because apparently they hate the guy. He was on a poster in the stress test. They took that poster down in the beta, and he didn't make the final release either. So apparently they want to cancel Christmas on my boy, but we're not going to let it happen. I think Hsu Hao should be added to Mortal Kombat 1 as a cameo, because in that spot, he could show off his best assets. He could show off his fatality. He could show off his special moves with that beam shooting across the screen. I think it could all be good. So let's get Hsu Hao in here as a cameo, at least. Next up, we got Kentaro. Now, we already got Goro as a cameo. We already got Motaro as a cameo. Do we need another one of these characters as a cameo? Do we need Kentaro back in this game? I think we do need a Shokan on the base roster. So being that we didn't get Goro, being that Motaro didn't make it in as a centaur or whatever, I think we need to get Kentaro in here so we could see what they could do with this type of character on the base roster. I think the combos could be crazy. Next, we got Triborg. And you know what, y'all? Just off the top, I'm going to go ahead and cancel Christmas on Triborg. I want to see Cyrax back in this game on the base roster, sector, whatever. If y'all want to do that, that's fine. But the other character that's tied in here, we'll get to that. Next up, we got Scarlet. Scarlet's pretty popular. You know what? I'm not a big Scarlet fan at all, but we never really get women as DLC characters on the roster. Now, I'm not going to use any of the women unless it's Sonya Blade, who's not using those gadgets. But we see the outcry. We see the cry. They got to listen. We need more women on the roster. So I think definitely Jade, as we spoke about in the last video. I really want to see Sonya Blade added to the base roster. And again, I'm not a huge fan of Scarlet, but if you're going to put some women from Mortal Kombat's history in the game, then I think she's one of the more interesting ones that's not on this roster. So Scarlet, we finally got you locked in the video. In our last role we're looking at right now, Meat. Another one of those characters everybody was talking about from spoilers or whatever and stuff they were seeing. Everybody was saying Meat was going to be the final cameo, and he was not. And I am very glad he was not, because Meat is the character that I don't ever need to see in a Mortal Kombat game again. You know what? I think Meat's going to earn the X. It was either between Meat or Cyber Sub-Zero, because I wasn't a big fan when Cyber Sub-Zero was introduced. Why? Because I love Sub-Zero. And this kind of scared me. I thought they were going to kind of stick with the Cyber Sub-Zero thing moving forward. I'm glad they didn't, and we actually have Sub-Zero as Bihan and Kuai Liang. But I don't really need to see Cyber Sub-Zero back in a Mortal Kombat game again. So if we had to give it to one, I think we're going to stick that X on Meat. Cyber Sub-Zero kind of squeaked his way out of this one, but I'm hoping after seeing Bihan's ending in Mortal Kombat 1, they don't go away from the Noob Saibot thing and actually turn him into Cyber Sub-Zero, because that's possible. I don't even want Noob Saibot to be canon anymore. I think Bihan needs to be our Sub-Zero forever. Next up, we got my boy Torr. Now, Farah's coming back. We know Farah is coming back, but they left my boy Torr out. They could have easily said Farah and Torr as the cameo character, but maybe they left Torr out for a reason. I think Torr was a great character in Mortal Kombat X. I wasn't the biggest fan of Mortal Kombat X, but I think he was a highlight in that game. So I want to see Torr come back. I think I said this in a video probably yesterday, but you know what? We started the timeline over. So whether he's dead or not, we're starting off fresh. He can come back and he doesn't need to have Farah with him. We don't even know if Farah's going to be small or if she's going to be big like he is. So we'll have to wait and figure that out as well. In the last fighter we have on this list, I got to admit to y'all, I don't get it. I don't get it. People love Fujin. I was never really a big fan of Fujin. But in Mortal Kombat 1, Fujin could be amazing. If you think about his win moves that he has, pushing fighters forward, bringing them back, throwing them up in the air, so much combo potential. Now, he could make it as a cameo as well. I think his moveset would fit well as a cameo also. But being that every time I say something negative about Fujin, he's one of those characters that people always come at me for. So you know what? I can respect that. People love Fujin. He didn't even make an appearance in the story or anything. Granted, they didn't really have any side characters make appearances in the story. I'm surprised we didn't see Fujin at all. Raiden's brother, Raiden is now from Earthrealm. A lot of people were saying Fujin would be turned into a woman. I don't think that's going to be the case at all. So we'll have to see where Fujin falls. But what if it is true? What if Fujin is revealed as Raiden's sister in Mortal Kombat 1 Aftermath? Let me know how y'all would feel about that in the comment section. But what about Cabal? What about Aaron Black? What about Devora? Should they make it back in Mortal Kombat 1? We'll have to talk about it next week on Mortal Kombat Monday. Thank y'all for tuning into this video. Don't forget to drop a like on it and smash that subscribe button if you haven't already. Bomb Squad, let's get to that.